Hare Krišna. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Gopi Janavalabha Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, chapter 10. We start with text 52, which doesn't have a purport. And then we'll read text 53. Translation of text 52. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the Bharata dynasty, during the reign of Lord Ramachandra, the forests, the rivers, the hills and mountains, the states, the 7 islands and the 7 seas were all favorable in supplying the necessities of life for all living beings. Text 53. Nadivyadi jaraglani Dukha shoka bhayaklama Mityushchani chatam nasid Rame rajanya dokshaje Nadi vyadi jaraglani Dukha shoka bhayaklama Mrityushchani chatam nasid Rame rajanya dokshaje Divyadi jaraglani Dukha shoka bhayaklama Mityushchani chatam Rame rajanya dokshaje Nadi vyadi jaraglani Dukha shoka bhayaklama Mrityushchani chatam nasi Matajis Nadi vyadi jaraglani Dukha shoka bhayaklama Mrityushchani chatam nasid Rame rajanya dokshaje Nadi vyadi jaraglani Dukha shoka bhayaklama Mityushchani chatam nasid Rame rajanya dokshaje Nat Adi Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika and Adi Daivika sufferings. That is, sufferings from the body and mind, from other living entities and from nature. Vyadi, diseases. Jara, old age. Glani, bereavement. Dukha, grief. Shoka, lamentation. Bhaya, fear. Klama, and fatigue. Mrityu, death. Cha, also. Anichchatam, of those who did not like it. Na asit, there was not. Rame, during the rule of Lord Ramachandra. Rajani, because of his being the king. Adokshaje, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond this material world. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was the king of this world, all bodily and mental suffering, disease, old age, bereavement, lamentation, distress, fear and fatigue were completely absent. There was even no death for those who did not want it. Purport. All these facilities existed because of Lord Ramachandra's presence as the king of the entire world. A similar situation could be introduced immediately, even in this age called Kali, the worst of all ages. It is said, Kali Kale Namarupe, Krishna Avatara. Krishna descends in this Kali Yuga in the form of his holy name, Hare Krishna, hare-rama. If we chant offenselessly, Rama and Krishna are still present in this age. The kingdom of Rama was immensely popular and beneficial, and the spreading of this Hare Krishna movement can immediately introduce a similar situation even in this Kali Yuga. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Adeshatarine. Hare Krishna, welcome. It's very interesting verses and purport, very short and sweet. There's a few ideas we can take from this. First is that Srila Prabhupada many times says that people, especially in India, they are talking about Ram Raja, about the kingdom of Lord Ramachandra. And these new politicians, they promise we'll have Ram Raja. And then the only problem is that they want to have Ram Raja without Ram. So it's not gonna work. So that's, we will get back to this idea. There's one interesting affirmation Srila Prabhupada makes in the purport. He said that if we chant offenselessly, Rama and Krishna are still present in this age. So that's quite simple. We just have to chant Hare Krishna. No? Yes, so that's the key word. That's the key part there. Because it says without offenses. And that's really the more difficult part. You have this verse spoken by Lord Chaitanya himself, who says, Bahu Janma Kareya Di Shravana Kirtana Tabutana Paya Krishna Pade Premadana. And he says that if one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he doesn't say, for some months, he will not get the love of Godhead that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. Of course, he doesn't say that he will not have any benefit. There will be some benefit, of course. But he says he will not get prema if someone chants with offenses. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada says, just chant and be happy. It's a simple process. But actually, it's quite hard to chant Hare Krishna. I remember there was an affirmation by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. He said in one class that if you think Krishna consciousness is easy, probably you came a few weeks ago. Then and we'll explain what's with these few weeks. So it's actually quite hard to chant Hare Krishna, and especially without offenses. And Srila Rupa Goswami says, gives a bit why it's so hard to chant Hare Krishna. And he says, it's Nectar of Instruction, text 7, which is quite famous. First part, he says that it's really, chanting Hare Krishna is really ecstatic. As he says, the holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendentally sweet like sugar candy. Sweet like sugar candy. Okay. Normally people like sweets. I mean, even if we cannot digest them, still we like sweets. But he says, although the tongue of one afflicted by jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet. So he says, if you're afflicted by a disease, then you don't taste anything sweet. You chant Hare Krishna, you're like, what's this Hare Krishna? Why Hare Krishna? Or yesterday Hare Krishna, today Hare Krishna, tomorrow Hare Krishna. Why always Hare Krishna? And but he says, if you feel like this, and just to put it, there's also another affirmation made in Srimad Bhagavatam by Shaunaka Rishi. Shaunaka Rishi is a bit more strong a bit. He says that certainly that heart is still framed, which in spite of one's chanting the holy name of the Lord with concentration, does not change when ecstasy takes place, tears fill the eyes, and the hairs stand on end. So Shaunaka Rishi says, if you chant Hare Krishna properly, then tears should fall from your eyes, the hairs should stand on end, and you should be in ecstasy. But if you don't feel this ecstasy, then your heart is still framed. Hard word. But it's the same idea that we're sick if we don't chant Hare Krishna, if we don't feel this ecstasy when chanting Hare Krishna. So I must admit that I'm sick according to this description. So, but there is some hope, because Srila Rupa Goswami says, although the tongue of one afflicted by jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that he gives the cure also, because he doesn't say, oh, you're sick, bad for you, bad karma. He said, simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. So he says, no problem. You're sick? Okay, no problem. So the cure is chanting Hare Krishna. But also one interesting thing Srila Rupa Goswami says is he talks about jaundice of avidya. He says also about lack of knowledge, avidya, because that's in many parts the problem, why we don't chant Hare Krishna, or why we chant with offenses, or why people stop chanting Hare Krishna. It's due to lack of knowledge. And you can apply this to other services also. You know, like why people stop doing some service. And it's usually due to lack of knowledge. And one interesting point is that Srila Prabhupada, what did he bring to America? When he went to America, what his luggage? Yes, he brought some books. What kind of books? Bhagavatam, first canto. Yes. So Srila Prabhupada, when he went to America, he brought Srimad Bhagavatam. She brought this first canto in 3 volumes, had 200 sets. That was his luggage. He didn't have, probably he had a personal luggage like this, and then some big trunks with the books. What's really interesting about this is that Srila Prabhupada was 70, and how much time did he take to translate and publish these books, this first canto? No, one? No, more. I don't know exactly, but I think he started in 59 or. Years. Well, maybe even more. Yeah. Yeah, at least 3 years. We'll call it 3 years. I mean, I didn't have time this morning to research, but I was under the impression that it's even more than 3 years.
First, when he moved to Vrindavan, he was going to Delhi. He was
Yeah.
Then
he started Bhagavatam. So he took quite some time that was the idea, to publish this Srimad Bhagavatam, because he wanted to come to the West with the holy name, but also with Srimad Bhagavatam. That's quite important. And then there's this song he composed in Boston, on the board of the Jaladuta. It's called Markine Bhagavata Dharma. And in that song, Srila Prabhupada diagnoses the American society. He's just coming, he's just arrived, but he knows, okay, they are covered by the mode of passion and ignorance, and they think they are happy. And then he gives the cure. And he says, the words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation, and if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. So he gives the cure. It's not only Maha Mantra, it's also Srimad Bhagavatam. You can extend to also spiritual knowledge, because many times he says that there's this saying that a religion without philosophy is either sentiment or sahaja or something like this, or fanaticism. Like sometimes we have this, you meet these fanatics of a certain religion. They are and you try to argue philosophically with them. It's you just can't, because they have no philosophy. They are just like, do you surrender? Yeah. Okay, so that's the idea. So this philosophy, and the idea is that this philosophy should sustain this chanting of Hare Krishna, because if you don't have philosophy, it's really hard to chant Hare Krishna, because there is a process. And if you don't know the process, you don't know if it works. Like you have these stages which are described in Nectar of Devotion and Madhurya Kadambini. And usually people start with Shraddha. There's some faith, some initial faith, Sadhu Sangha, association of the devotees. And in the association of devotees, they start to chant Hare Krishna, maybe just in bhajans, maybe just also practice. And usually what happens is that when they chant Hare Krishna a bit, they feel some ecstasy. No? This happens to many devotees. Yeah. And then devotees feel this ecstasy, and they're like, wow, this is far out, this is good, this Krishna consciousness is working. It's love. And then they become really, oh, I know. They tell everyone what to do. We all went through this stage. So, and then that's the initial stage. You're like so enthusiastic, and then after some time, you lose this enthusiasm, just goes away, and you're like, oh, why chant Hare Krishna again? So, and this is normal. That's the idea, because this initial enthusiasm is called Utsahamai. It's more or less in a mode of passion. So mode of passion, that's the effect, like a bit of nectar in the beginning, and a bit of suffering in the end. And then there's more stages, like there's this Ganatarala, like, today I'm feeling really enthusiastic. Tomorrow I'm like, oh my God, not again, Hare Krishna. And the next day I'm like, Hare Krishna, oh yeah, Krishna is coming, yes. And then, oh my God, again, Hare Krishna. You can see this is patterns. This is studied by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It's so. When I first read Madhurya Kadambini, I was like, he's so spot on. He's like, you see that you've seen the devotees around, and you see, okay, that's this. And then there's Vyuda Vikalpa. Vyuda Vikalpa is called excessive speculation. Excessive speculation means that devotees always always changing something. Always, he's not. He's always thinking: should I get married? Should I remain brahmachari? Should I move to this temple? Should I move to that temple? Should I? Many things, and which are important decisions. We're not saying, but the problem with this is that he's speculating. He's not He's not doing his service. He's just, oh, okay, I will move to that temple. And then he moves to the temple and like, maybe if I move to that temple. I should get married. This is really important decisions, this serious decision. But it's just this stage, he's not taking a commitment, okay, I will stay here at least for 1 month and do some service. No, he's just running around, just this place, that place, then there's Vishaya Sangara. After some time, senses start troubling you. Okay. But still, I have seen. First, you think you're pure devotee. First, you come to Krishna consciousness, then you're pure devotee. Everyone is a pure devotee. First month, many people are pure devotees, and then they realize, oh look, actually I have this desire and that desire. That everything is coming. And then there's some other stages. Anyway, the idea is that there is a process, and after bhajana kriya comes the nasty part, which is called anartha nivriti, which is called cleaning our impurities. So that's really the nasty part. And then it comes nishta. So this nishta means stable. Sometimes I go for sankirtan and try to stop people, and some people from Croatia usually, or probably in Serbia also, they say nishta. Which means that they don't want anything or something like this. I don't really understand. But then I'm looking, usually when I go with some devotee, I always tell him, but nishta is not so easy to attain, nishta, being stable in Krishna consciousness, it's quite hard to attain. So that's and you cannot really underestimate nishta. It's really, you cannot underestimate, and you can see it's really hard to do it. But that's the purpose of the game. At least first part. Okay, after nishta come advanced stages, and you actually feel some taste, which is more stable than the initial taste. But the idea is how to come to nishta, how to become stable in Krishna consciousness. Many times you see devotees, they have one service, 1 month, 2 months, and then they want to do something else. And that's the only way to keep this is you should have also spiritual knowledge, which comes from reading Srila Prabhupada's books. It's we have these classes, which is good, but we should also have devotees regularly reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Otherwise, Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Otherwise, these services we're doing will be less and less enthusiastic. There's one video devotees made of with Srila Prabhupada. It's his voice. I don't know the context, and some images and the voice. And Srila Prabhupada says something. I'll just. It's a very short video, but it's very powerful message. And he says, if you don't read, then you will feel restless. Oh, let me go to Japan, from Japan to India, from India to Japan. You are restless because you don't read. I'm laboring so hard but you don't take advantage. Okay, he says more. My duty, I have given you so valuable things, day and night, trying to convince you, each word to word. And if you don't take advantage of this, then what can I do for you? So it is there's some other ideas, but anyway. So this is my request to all the devotees to make a plan that in this lifetime you read all Srila Prabhupada books, at least once, that you read all Srila Prabhupada's books. And if you read them, then you will also feel inspired to give them to others. Then you will feel, oh, this is really something amazing. And if you read them, you will see that your Krishna consciousness gets another dimension. You will be more enthusiastic, more enthused. I mean, you will do the same services, but differently. Like you will not be like, why today? Because due to lack of knowledge, you can have always this, why always taking prasadam? Or rice and dal today, always rice and dal, and because we don't, we do it mechanically. We don't think. If you just stop and think, why always this Panchatattva deity? Why tomorrow maybe they will bring some Radha Krishna because we're born, Without knowledge and without being conscious about what we're doing, we'll be like, we tend to take things very easily. These things that are very sweet, that Srila Rupa Goswami says that they are very sweet. If we don't have knowledge, if we don't have, then we will take them very easily. And even if we don't feel like, these are so sweet, which is okay. Actually, this verse corresponds from. This 7th verse from Nectar of Instruction corresponds to these stages, Bhajana, Kriya, Anartha, Nivriti, Nishta, and I think Ruchi also. I'm not sure if Ruchi also. But that's the idea. Okay, you don't feel it's sweet, no problem. Like if you go to the doctor and you take some medicine, do you go to take the medicine because it's sweet? No, I mean, nowadays they do it like that. But no, the purpose of the medicine is to get cured. So if you really understand, this medicine is, for me, useful. Okay, I will take it. It's bitter. Like some devotees have some Ayurvedic treatment. You see when they taste that part, like, it's not sweet, but it's not supposed to be sweet, or it will be sweet after some time. So that's the idea, and so that's first part. We should understand the holy name in this context. We should read and study our philosophy so we understand and we support our practice for a long time. And then if we do all this and then we read Srila Prabhupada's books, we understand that Srila Prabhupada wants us to give this to others. So yeah, we have now a very nice festival. Usually big problem with festival is that they end. And then on Monday morning, it's becoming a little problem. So the idea is that on these festivals we should get inspired and then make a plan from Monday morning how to be more serious in our personal practice. And we can always be more serious. I mean, I don't know others, but I can always be more serious. And also be more serious to give Krishna consciousness to others. And if we do this, then we'll have this Ram Raja, and Srila Prabhupada tells us that spreading of the Hare Krishna movement all over the world will introduce immediately a similar situation. And what they are talking about in this verse is that in the kingdom of Lord Ramachandra, there was even no death for those who didn't want it. This is a high statement, like, you don't want to die? No problem. Finish. And, yeah. It's, and all other problems are solved if we bring back Ram Raja. So we can bring it at least for ourselves, in our house, in our home, in our temple, and maybe around. Okay, I'll stop here. I don't know if there's some questions, concerns.
Just the quote from Lord Chaitanya about like chanting even after many lifetimes. Is that from like the Chaitanya Charitamrita?
It's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 8:16.
8:16. Cool.
It's quite famous verse. I mean, I heard it from some devotees. Some devotees used to chant this before and recite the 10 offenses. I saw this practice from some devotees.
Adilita
8:16.
8:16. And also, how much reading would you recommend per day, at least?
Well, if you they say 1 hour is minimum. It depends. For preachers, it's 2 hours is recommended minimum. Yeah, I mean that's the recommendation. Sometimes it's practical. Sometimes you can do it. Sometimes you cannot do it. Yeah, just do something. You know, like make a plan to do something. But yeah, but that's the standard recommendation. But then it's also practical. There's also different types of nishta. You know, I didn't have. I always wanted to research this part. Like there's one type of nishta of being stable, which is external. You know, like I wake up at 4, I chant 8 rounds until then, I chant 8 rounds there, I chant 8 rounds there, and that's it. And then, which is really good. I mean, if you can do it, it's very good. But the problem with that is many times some devotees become fanatic about it. You know, like sometimes there's really some real other circumstances. You know, like, and the idea is that there's another type of being stable, like you put it as a priority. You know, like, so if you can do it, like it's, of course, it's perfect if you can do it, like to have a schedule, daily schedule, same schedule. It's so easy for the mind if you wake up same hour, do same service, same hour. It's so easy, so nice. But the other part, which is also important, so maybe more important, is that you make it a priority. You know, if it's a priority for you, you will find time. You know, like I will just give you an example. You know, like. I was in Romania and we were with His Holiness Prahladananda Maharaj, and we went like 5 minutes drive to a preaching program, and he was like we knew it's 5 minutes drive, so we're like spacing out, and he took his tablet. I saw him. I was in the same car. He took many times. I saw this. He took his tablet, he opened Bhagavad Gita, he read for 5 minutes Bhagavad Gita. You know, like 5 minutes. That's what he had in that time. But he was not okay. It's 5 minutes. I will space out. So that's another way of seeing things. You know, like if it's important for you, then you will find the time. Then you will be like, oh, I have 5 minutes. Okay. You have to wait something, or you have to. You're boiling veggies in the. You have to wait 10 minutes until they boil. You can. Hare Krishna. Yeah, that's another view. I don't know if it's helpful, but.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.